Hello, fellow students and also future educators. My name is Roger Seiler, and I'd like to welcome you to my presentation on my thematic unit of evaporation. I chose evaporation for the reason that I wanted the students to be able to work with something they can't see. It's kind of an imagination thing. It's like, you know it's there, you know it happens. But in evaporation, there's a whole cycle of water coming up, going up, water coming down, and all the things that affect the water, whether it's a desert, dry heat, whether it's an abundance of rain, or anything in this environment. And since the whole earth, the majority of the earth is full of water, we need to take and consider how it works and what we can do to protect it. So I guess right now I don't see any rain, so I guess I'll take the umbrella down. My thematic unit is actually pretty simple. I think they're kind of enjoyable. I've got a few of them up here to display. And I've also got a few books that I wanted to show you first. First book is called Weather, Science Works for Series, or Kids Series. And it's a bunch of things that you can do with the kids, the experiments and different things. And one of the things in here, such as the water cycle, which is one of the things that we were talking about, water cycle on this page. Also, a book is called Save the Earth Science Experiments, Science Fair Projects for Eco Kids. And it's a book that will help the children learn different ways to help the environment and try to make things such as the water safer, and not to damage it, especially since we need it so much. The third book is called Earth Science for Every Kid, 101 Easy Experiments That Really Work. And this would be just the cool things that the kids could really enjoy doing and having fun doing it. And for example, this is on page 162, it's number 73, called Frost to Determine How Frost Forms. The funny thing is, you don't really see frost form, but this is one way of doing it. So that's another book that I really thought was a great one. To continue on, my first main thematic unit is a project that takes and keeps data that we've collected, as the students collect each day. What they do is they'll take a cup and they'll look at the temperature outside, and they'll put so much water in the cup, and they'll watch how much it evaporates, and they'll record that daily. And it might be difficult to see up here, but this is a graph of daily temperatures and the humidity, and it's all color coordinated. We've got these cool little eyes right here that we can place up there, and the blue eyes tell us what the temperature was, the purple eyes tell you what the humidity was, and the yellow eyes right here will tell you whether it's clear, and we could use pink eyes to tell whether it's a cloudy day. So it gives us a whole list of 31 days to use for a month to collect data. Take that evaporation data, and on this one right here, it's the graph itself which shows how much was evaporated for each day, and you can actually see it in a graph, so it's a view vision. On this side is a display showing how much cumulative each day in kind of like a cup form. Down here we have the temperature that we're expecting to see tomorrow, so the kids can make an estimated guess, and the humidity expected for tomorrow. So you take all this information and you look at what the past history has been to maybe determine how much evaporation you have that day. So that's the thematic board there. Another thing that seemed really cool is a card game. It's called card graphing right here. And in this game, the students will take and have a list of numbers that they have to choose from. And there's a whole lot of numbers to choose from. And the way they choose this from is first, it's a game that uses cards. The first choice is you have kings. You take 4 kings, and whichever card you pull, whether it's a club, a spade, a diamond, or a heart, will tell you which graph to use or which page of numbers to use. The next choice of cards, if you'll see right here, we have our list where we plot our numbers. So the next choice will be a group of aces through sixes, and what they'll do is they'll flip over a number or a card, and then they'll find that card on the x-axis of the list to determine where they want, what number they're going to use. Then they'll flip over the next card, which are sevens through queens, and they'll use that to determine the y-axis, and they'll pinpoint their number, the actual number that they're going to use in their graphing. So then they'll place it on a graph. And what they'll do is they'll fill in the graph here. So they'll take all their numbers at the bottom here, they'll put the number there, and then they'll plot it on the graph. Then they can see when they mark the graph how much things can change from day to day. It's just fun, it's graphing. So that's what we, that's I call it the card graphing. The next thing that I have is the water cycle. And the reason I chose this is that we all know water goes up, water comes down. But how does it go up, and all the little properties as to what it's called. So what this will do is tell the kids, what is evaporation? What is water vapor? What is precipitation? And what is condensation and drainage? And over here it shows the cycle from 1, 2, 3, and 4. You got evaporation, condensation, rain, and drainage. So they would take those words right here and they would place them here according to what is what. Whether if it's condensation, well, then you would say condensation is right here. So they would place this word right there. And over here on the water cycle, we have water cycle stumpers. And the question, such as number 1, what happens if the earth is below freezing when the water droplets fall? Well, the answers are down here. The thing is that they don't just have one choice. They have multiple choices in here, so they have to find the actual answer to it. So that is the water cycle. Another option to teach about weather, we'll get to it here, is what I call it's a blow dryer experiment. So you would take a sponge and you put the same exact amount of water on a sponge, and you would take a water meter and you find out what it is, and then you would blow a hair dryer on the sponge and decide when it's dry. And once it's dry, then you'll set that timer, and then you do the same thing with a different speed. So you'll do multiple speeds with different amounts of water on the sponge, and find out how long it takes, and try and figure out how wind affects evaporation. Okay, the last one is what I call bingo math. So what bingo math is this, use an actual bingo machine, a bingo ball with all the bingos in there, and that we would roll through, and the students would take the number that comes out of there, and they'll use that in a preset formula, and it will be, depending on whether it's a B-I-N-G-O, there's bingo, that they will take and use the formula that is part of that letter. The difference is, on a couple of the letters, they will have to take and use their age or their birth month or something to fill in the formula. So not every student's answer is going to be the same. So what that's going to do is just give them practice doing math and doing decimals and trying to figure out, oh, I got this number. So, so there's different things. Evaporation is a very big part of our life. We're going to have it, and we're going to continue, and we hope we're going to continue to have it. Water is a precious resource for everybody, and I think everybody needs to learn how to take care of that. And because without water, enjoyed my presentation on my thematic unit of evaporation. And I look forward to, maybe toasting everybody to the next glass of water. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next class. Bye.